Welcome to the Business Spotlight Podcast. My name is David Beeson. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Raciel Castillo, CEO of RC Technologies. We're going to be talking about his business journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to operate and own a business. Raciel, thank you. Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to give us a little bit of background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, David, for having me. So my name is Raciel, founder and CEO of RC Technologies. We are a technology startup. We primarily started with a few different technologies, but mostly focused on carbon capture and utilization. So basically removing greenhouse gases from the atmosphere and turning those gases into powerful, high value, environmentally friendly, circular products like graphene, and a bunch of other amazing products that we can just keep circulating in that circular economy as the years pass. And that's essentially what we do. We do a few other fun things that we'll get into in the call, but that's how we started. We're working on a aeronautic vehicle, which is essentially just a flying car. That doesn't use like propellers or anything like that, so it's like really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and we have some other fun stuff coming up. But yeah, that's essentially what we're doing now. We're an advanced technology manufacturer, provider, producer, and innovation sort of company working on the future.
Awesome. Yeah, that's crazy. The flying car thing. That's insane. I hope that it's gonna be like the Flintstones, huh?
Well, yeah, or like the Jetsons.
Yeah. That's what I meant, the Jetsons. Sorry.
Yeah. I prior to even starting carbon capture, even having a name for my company in 2018, I was sketching out. I just sketched it. I didn't have any idea of what it would do. I was just like, this is kind of what I would like the car to look like. And I left it alone for several years and then started working in posture correction, which was my first ever invention. It's a posture correction device that straps against your chair, and then it helps you sit up so that you're not leaning over like I am and most people are.
Yeah, me right now.
It happens all the time. And then I got a hit in my brain. I was listening to this podcast, and then we sort of began developing the director capture technology. I was by myself then, but we're a smaller team now. So
Gotcha. Yeah, just out of curiosity for the audience, what's like the current ownership structure look like right now? Are you a sole founder? Do you have a partner or maybe a board?
yes, totally sole founder. Has been that way since day one. Um, really like ownership, so I'm the only one who's running the company right now.
Nice, awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about like your daily life whenever it comes to owning this business. Like, what's your role like in the business?
Yeah, so a typical day is getting to my emails, like everyone else, and then following up with a bunch of people, setting meetings, the typical administration or administrative duties, and then figuring out sort of uh, essentially just chopping away at the old task list, the same thing for everyone else, I would imagine. Um, Taking it back since or from the beginning, our day one operative schedule of just moving through the business and through the future of the technology. So making sure that we're meeting those deadlines, meeting with the people that we need to meet with to move forward in that capacity, discovering and exploring ways to come together and to operate in new ways, and just really pushing the needle forward every day. It's really a daily job, and that's it. And I'm a little social on social media. I'm a little social on LinkedIn. I have a lot of contacts there that we connect with over every day. I was a little quiet, but now I'm a little more. I'm a little less quiet. So that has been a part of my day lately. it's getting in touch with my network and just communicating and like keeping in touch with people, and building those
Yeah.
relationships and just being social because sometimes you need a little break, you need a little fun, you need a little something.
Oh yeah, of course. So, when you look at your role, how many hours do you spend working in the business, like, the job, the daily grind, and how many on the business, like strategy planning, et cetera?
Yeah, so it's all over the board. It really just depends. Over the last few years, it's been anywhere from 18 hours, even up to 22 hours a day, down to like 6 to 8 hours. Um, I don't keep a normal schedule. I take chunks of like different blocks and I work through those blocks, and then I'll either take a break. Um, Sometimes I don't take a break. It really just depends. Um, it could be anywhere from 8 to 16 hours a day on average.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Um, Many business owners, especially those newer to entrepreneurship, feel as though they never have enough time. I'm curious, based on your experience, if I were to give you an extra 10 hours back each week, how would you invest those hours? Would you put them more into the business, personally, family
I would
time?
put it, yeah, I would put it more to work. I've canceled dates, I've canceled friend meetups, I've canceled a bunch of personal things just to work. I like working. If I feel like I need to work, I'll work. I've always really put my work first. I've taken breaks in my life, and I've learned the value of rest. I highly recommend it. Burnout is not fun. You can't do your job if you love working when you're burned out. I've been there, but I'm not a, I spend most of my time working, and I want that. That's what I choose. I like that. So if you gave me an extra 10 hours a day, I would probably use it to work.
Yeah. Yeah. My background is in film and TV. So I've worked a lot with like in films and on commercials, and that's just kind of the daily grind, how it is on there too, especially if you're above the line as a producer, which is what I tend to try to do. You kind of fall into those 15 to 18-hour days, sometimes 20, and it's the same thing. It's like, I might need to go get lunch, but also I need to finish this thing. So I'm just gonna eat and do this at the same time. It's just how it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. No, I understand.
So why did you choose to go into business for yourself as opposed to maybe trying to work for a different technology company? And what was the transition like for you?
I always knew I would work for myself, even as a kid. I started selling lemonade with my brother at 7 years old. On the first day we did it, he's not very like, he doesn't like interact well. He doesn't like the public setting. He doesn't interact well with people, or he just doesn't like it. So after the first day, he quit, and I was like, well, now that I'm not really tied to you, I can just take this show on the road. And I was living in Miami at the time in Hialeah, and we lived right behind a plaza that we used to frequent. There was a grocery store. My aunt had a store there, nail salons, everything. Your normal, typical plaza, layout. And I got a shopping cart from the local grocery store, and I put a radio in it. I placed those styrofoam coolers, and I started blasting some Ricky Martin and selling lemonade for $1 a cup, and all the ladies loved it. One of the ladies at the nail salon gave me a better recipe idea. I immediately switched. She was right, 100%, much better. It was Country Time lemonade, by the way. I was using some other thing, and she's like, you should go try Country Time. Anyway, I've been doing this since I was 7. I've always wanted to work for myself. I've sort of oscillated between working for myself and working for others. I've worked at McDonald's, I've worked at Starbucks, I've done that whole gambit, I've done all that. But in 2019, it really hit me that I can't keep surviving on jobs, and I'm either getting fired or I'm quitting because but like it's sucking my soul, and I'm not interested in doing that. So I opened up my book of like sketches and ideas, and I was like, what is the thing that I can do right now with the little bit of money that I have, with the resources that I have, with the time that I have, with the knowledge and the skills that I have? And it was my posture correction device, and I
Yeah.
did that. And I was in school as well at the time, and I just kept on going, and I haven't stopped. I mean, I've had a few jobs in between, but mostly I've not. Mostly I've just been slinging it like an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
I've yet to encounter a business owner who hasn't had any peaks and valleys on their journey of building a business. How do you manage the difficult days?
I really put my trust and faith in God. He is ultimately, I lean on Him. He guides me. He provides for me. He shows me the way. I'm not always happy with the process, but I certainly lean in and trust in Him. And I just take it one day at a time. Honestly, look, as somebody who works constantly in the future, when you're strategizing and creating the vision or building the vision that you've already received or you see that God gives you, you just kind of have to take it in stride day by day. Like I said, it hasn't always been easy for me. I've certainly gone through, you know, frustrations of timing and things like that. But over time, you just kind of learn to just go with the flow. I don't know if most business owners would tell you that, but I'm telling you that you have to kind of just go with the flow, and you have to take it one day at a time and take it in stride. I don't really focus too much on the difficulties. I focus on the solutions. Um, and I take it one day at a time. I put my faith in God and I keep moving.
Yeah, I think that's some great advice. Kind of to dive a little bit deeper on that, is there anything like with the business that you kind of had to go through where you, I guess, were able to like fully lean and like figure out this mentality? Because like I said, it's very, um, I don't think a lot of business owners would say that, and I think it's very cool that you are.
Oh yeah, well thank you. Yeah, no, it's certainly the truth. So I'll tell you from the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. When I built,
Yeah,
I didn't know what I was doing. I knew, so with the posture correction device, that was a little bit different. I was in school for physics. I had just started. I didn't get a degree. I still don't have one yet. I want to go back, but that's another story. Um, I didn't have a degree. I really, truly just started. In fact, I was in like my first semester when I got the idea, first or second semester. I don't remember. I think one of those two. And I just was listening to this podcast. Excuse me. I was listening to this podcast, and the guest was saying, "Oh, there's all this gas in the air." And a couple of weeks prior, I was pretty upset. I was like, "Why isn't anyone doing anything about this?" And I didn't know that there were people out there like doing work in different capacities in different ways. And it just hit me like the Holy Spirit just was so I immediately thought, well, surely we can remove it. And I began sketching what is now our technology. I just knew what it had to do. I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know how it was going to be. I just knew, I mean, I sort of knew how it was going to be, but I was focused on what it needed to do. And that was really the Holy Spirit. Um, I don't listen to anything. You might even hear an echo right now. I keep my apartment quiet. Like my ACs and they're all off right now because I like to think in silence. Um, and of course, obviously, we're meeting as well, but I never put anything on in the background. If it's not like worship music, even that sometimes I have to turn down because I need to think. But at the time, I was like, how can I get more information into my brain, knowing that our brains work in the background? If I just put something in the background, it'll absorb it, and then when the time is right, it'll come, to mind. And that was my thinking. I couldn't hear anything these people were saying. I was so in my mind. That was the only thing I heard. There's so much gas in the atmosphere. And I quickly just jumped up and I was like, well, surely we can remove it. And I began sketching. After I sketched, I put my sketch down and I went back to working on my posture correction device. Um, I say that because I really didn't know what I was doing for like the first 6 months, 4 months, something like several months. I just went into research and development. You would think that with all that we've done in that process that I would have some sort of maybe degree or something like that. I don't. I just kept on following my guidance, and I just leaned into it, and I knew that I was right. I knew that I was right, and so I just kept on going. In fact, I didn't even know there were people in the industry until like 6 months in, that I was like, oh, I should probably Google to see if there are like other people like working on this. And lo and behold, there were like two companies at the time, two big companies. Now there's like over 140, 150 or so. But this was in 2019. So you just have to follow your guidance, and for those who are like, you just have to follow the Holy Spirit. That's it. It'll guide you, right? They'll guide you, and they'll let you know what's up, and you just take it one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. So I heard you say that there's about 150 companies there. So I'm curious, why do your customers and clients choose you specifically? Why do they choose RC Technologies?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's about 140, a little over 140, between like maybe 147 or so. I would say because we have arguably one of the most efficient and effective solutions and methods to removing greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, and turning those into high value products. Um, I think if your goal is to be efficient in removing your emissions, we're one of the people you want to work with. Um, there might be others. There certainly are some really, really great technologies. They're all different, right? Some of them are in the marine space, like in the oceans. Others are in nature-based solutions. Um, but for the 140 plus technology companies, those are mostly in the DAC, the direct air capture. It's DAC for short. All those different companies have different methods and different outputs. Some of them are storing them underground, which, as we're learning, is not the most effective as we thought, or I certainly didn't think it was, but in the science community, there's a bit of a rift there. And then there are other technologies that are doing other things. Some of them are turning them into plastics, things like that. We're not interested in creating any more plastic. We have enough of plastic around the world. So it really just depends on what your goals are. But if you want like a really solid solution, RC Technologies is someone you would at least want to have a conversation with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really good. So what is one thing that you wish that people knew more about your business or your industry?
Oof. What is one thing I wish people knew more about my business or my industry? I'll start with the industry. Hang on, let me think for a second. Sorry.
No, you're all good, man.
Thanks. What is one thing I wish people knew more about my business? That we're really here for the work. We're really here for the impact. We're really here for the business. We are here to remove as much CO2 from the atmosphere as possible in the shortest amount of time, or in as much time as we can. We're fully self-funded, so we don't have anybody that we need to answer to, or any sort of like requirements that are not solely focused on the purpose of the work and the job. And we're really focused on being number one. That's what I would tell people about my company. And we're really here for you. Like, we're really here for the planet. We're really here to do the work. We're really here to have an impact beyond carbon capture, beyond the ecology of things. We want to go into industries and cities and build better. Some of that would include building parks and helping cities build hospitals and education centers and food centers that we need more of, because as we move more into climate, as we're in that transition, that heat will create drought, which will affect crops and affect our global food supply. So where can we add more work in that way? Well, there are plenty of technological advances that we can use, and even like really regular non-technological advances that we can use to promote higher food yields, um, like vertical farming, like creating greenhouses, no pun intended, where we get to even use that captured CO2, pump it into that greenhouse, create a higher, fuller yield, um, and then send people home with free, fresh, organic food that we'll need, you know, throughout the years to come. Um, that's like one of the biggest ways we want to give back. We want to, help build communities and cities. So building businesses and being sort of that partner for companies, whether that's in the technological space or in the business space in terms of like um, business funding or grants or loans. Basically going into a community and saying, what is it that you guys need so that we can provide as much as possible outside of what we're taking from you? Because every time a company goes into a space, they're taking from that community. What are you also giving back? Like, yeah, sure, we're cooling down the planet and we're making the planet a better place and more breathable and habitable, and that's wonderful. But like, we can do more beyond that. So what else can we do for you? Do you need medical facilities? Do you need medical supplies? Do you need food? Do you need cleaner roads? Do you need to plant more trees? We can do all of that like pretty seamlessly. And so that's where we're going, and that's what we're going to do. And so we're if I were to say if I wanted to share anything about my business, it would be that.
That's
What I
awesome.
would thank you. What I would tell we think so as well. We're pretty excited about that. But what I would tell people about the industry is um, the industry is changing. The industry is evolving, and for many businesses, if you want to have longevity in the future, working some sort of climate solution into your portfolio or into your business model or into your asset portfolio or list is incredibly necessary. Regardless of wherever you stand on the subject of climate, that's that's not entirely that's not something that basically what you should worry about is that we're all moving in this direction, the whole world. So whether you whatever side of the spectrum you stand on, you gain to benefit from incorporating carbon solutions and climate solutions into your business model, into your technology, into your company, into your solutions. Um, that's just the nature of where we're going. The whole world, the whole world. So being able to use those tools to make the best decisions for your company is going to help you gain a footing in the future that you would otherwise not have. That's what I would say about. That's what I would share about the industry to others, regardless of where you are, what industry you have, what industry you're going into, what industry you're studying to go into. Um, I would say we're all moving in that direction. And if you want to also participate in having a business in the future in any capacity, even if you have a business now and you want to continue that longevity sort of pipeline, then you want to incorporate carbon reduction solutions, carbon and climate solutions. And if you don't know how to do that, and that's okay if you don't, that's perfectly fine. And if you want to learn more about how it'll benefit you, please get in touch. Like, I'm very happy to, it doesn't have to be like a weird call. I'm very happy to express what it is that I see and know. And then you can, of course, make a more informed decision with that information.
Yeah, that's super interesting, super cool.
Thank you.
Um, All right. I think I'm going to pivot this a little bit to marketing, if that's cool with you.
Sure, absolutely.
Um, so I'm curious for your business, how many different marketing strategies do y'all use? And maybe just highlight a couple of the ones that y'all use the most as well. Which ones are the most effective?
Yeah, I think I just focus on natural organic outreach. Like I'm
Nice.
all of the emails that people get from me, they're from me. Um, they're all written by me. There have been a few that I've tried to create scripts for. It doesn't work. I end up tearing it down or I start over, but they're all from me. So if you're getting a message from me from my company's email address, it's from me. Um, that's really what I focus on. I've done some other stuff, PR and all that. It hasn't necessarily created really much. I mean, it's had some traction, but mostly I just do good old outreach.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like the fact that you say like you write all your own emails because I feel like in this day with like AI and everything, you can always tell. You know what I mean? Like you get an
Yeah,
AI email, like I get AI emails and I'm like, well that wasn't written by a person. That's a freaking bot. Like, so it's cool. It's cool knowing that you write all the emails for your company because then it's authentic. It's legit.
and that's really important to me because I need you to know what I'm saying. Like I want you to hear. I want I want you to hear my tone when I speak, even through text.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is really important. And I think people get that as well when they get my messages.
Yeah. I'm the same way, but I'm very uh anti on a lot of stuff whenever it comes to AI. Like I said, I'm in the film and TV industry, so that's like AI is like bane of the existence half the time. So
Can I tell you something? I was gonna make a post the other day. I'm still probably gonna make it. Um, I was trying to use, so basically, everyone's worried about AI stealing their jobs, right? Especially like in
mhm.
video production and creativity. I just saw a post on LinkedIn saying the same thing. Um, I wouldn't worry about any of that anytime soon. I used some AI different things to like create some work. And let me tell you the frustration that I had I tried like seven plus, I tried several. I bounced, I bounced from all different, I'm not even gonna name them because I don't want them to like be, negatively affected. But I tried several of the popular ones and even some like that are not the most well known. They all struggled with a very simple prompt. And I was like, you know what? This is not like, I don't know why everyone's freaking out. The thing can't even get a prompt right. Like, what are you, so I wouldn't worry about AI stealing anyone's job anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree completely. So kind of continuing on marketing. What approach have you done to tracking your leads? Do y'all have like a CRM that you prefer? Do y'all mainly just use spreadsheets and stuff?
No, I just know who I need to follow up with and I do that. I mean,
Nice.
that's it's it seems I don't know how it seems to anyone, but it's a very organic um it's very organic, it's very in line with how I function and sort of like what I can manage. Um I as much as I would love to have 1,000 people in contact with, like I'm not I'm not opposed to it, but I'm good with the amount of people that I follow up with and reach out to, and sort of building that framework of just real organic connection.
Yeah.
So I don't use any
Yeah.
of those tools or anything like that. It would probably be maybe a little more efficient, but I really don't have a problem, so I think I'm okay right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that you mentioned that you had a few team members. Just out of curiosity, how big is y'all's team?
So it started at six. It's a little lower now. It's been fluctuating, um, but we're looking to build a larger team soon. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. So how would you describe your leadership style in business? Has it changed over the years?
no, it hasn't changed. It changed a lot before I became my own business. Um, I like to focus on what people can do, and then I let them go do that and do it really well. I think I'm a pretty good leader. I think people feel comfortable enough to tell me, "Hey, I can't do this. I need help." I was on the phone the other day, and I was telling a friend of mine who I wanted to bring onto a project. I told her, "Look, I just need to know all your strengths and like areas of improvement, because there may be a time where I need you to shadow somebody who is like the best in that field so that you could become better and I can promote you, you know? So I need to know all that so that I can know what I can depend on you for and what I cannot, and what you may need a little help with in the future." There's no wrong answer. I didn't know everything. I still don't know everything, but having that clear, open communication allows us to really work in a very healthy flow, and everyone kind of knows what they need to do, right? There's no like weird energy. There's none of that. We just work. We do our job. We love what we do. Everyone focuses on their strengths. If I need to clarify something, I will. If my team needs to clarify something, they most certainly can. I fully expect them to hold me accountable as well. I'm dependent on them as much as they are on me. We are literally a team. So that's kind of how I take it. And maybe I'll grow in whatever in the future, but I think that's really good. I try to hire the best um, and let them do what they do really well. And I have faith in them, and they have faith in me, and we just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, yeah, that's super cool. Well, are you
Thanks.
ready to transition to a couple rapid fire questions?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, man. All right. What is the key to success for you?
God, 100% God, 100% God. If you lean on God, He will show you the way. He will make your path straight. I'm not even kidding. Listen, He made me very well, but I need God. You know what I mean? Like I've tried doing things, it doesn't work without Him. So fully 100% God.
Awesome. What is one piece of advice that you have for other business owners?
Get close to God. Really though, truly, as I mentioned, he is like my leader. They say that who do the leaders go to? They go to God.
Yep.
And yeah, I fully surrender to him, and then we have a brainstorming meeting. He lets me know what's up, and then we keep going. Um, and then of course I follow my gut, right? Which he also gave me. So I just follow my gut. I lean on God. I pause when he tells me to pause, which is very important, and then I move forward when he tells me to move forward. And
Yeah.
that's really it.
Yeah. I have this bracelet. I don't know if you can see it, but it says fully rely on God. Frog,
There you
fully rely on
go.
God. And
There you
I
go.
wear this at all the time, all times. I sleep with it, everything. And whenever I'm having a bad day, you look down at it, you read it, and it kind of just like boosts my spirits. So I keep this on me
Yeah.
at all times.
Yeah, he's the Prince of Peace. He knows what to do. He knows what to do. So
Yeah. What is a book or podcast you are currently reading or listening to right now?
not listening to any podcast, but the only book I'm reading right now is the Holy Bible. I'm not even kidding. Like I read this every morning. I'm not even trying to brag. I read this every morning. And that's the only book I'm reading right now. I read articles as well, like on science and all that, but that's really the only book. I've mostly always, uh, yeah, I just read the Bible right now.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's kind of a fun question. It's one of the ones that I always like to ask to kind of get close to wrapping up. If you had a little bit of magic dust and you could choose one spot in your business to just sprinkle it and then everything would be what you wanted in that spot, where would it be and why?
I would sprinkle it instead on the industry. I think the industry is lagging; it's a little bit behind. Um, I would sprinkle it on the industry. I would sprinkle it on businesses that are leaning on government to make decisions for them. I would sprinkle it on governments to get the ball rolling. I would sprinkle it on businesses um, who know what they need to do and who, again, are relying on external factors to make decisions for their business, which could, which might not be the best thing for them. But I would sprinkle it on the industry to move forward a little bit faster. I mean, everything's happening in like, at its time, but there are certain things that are like, okay, are we playing a game or like, are we getting to work? What are we doing? And so, yeah, we're here to do the work. I would sprinkle it for sure on the industry, 100%.
Nice. I think that's a new one. I don't think I've gotten an answer before from anybody, the industry specifically. That's cool. I'm gonna remember that one for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we get into the final question of the day, would you like to share with the audience where they can follow you, learn more, contact you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on LinkedIn /in/Raciel Castillo. You could probably just find my face, you'll see me. And then you can follow us on RC Technologies, that's plural, rctechnologies.co, as in company. And that's really it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we've come to the final question of the day, and that is, what is most inspiring to you today?
What is most inspiring? I've got to say God again. I'm not even kidding. When you lean on God and you understand His character, you see that He is the creator of all creation. He is the most innovative energy and person and entity that you could ever interact with. All ideas, all thoughts, all things come from Him. So um, when you have that relationship with God, you get to see His glory in all things, but you also get to see His creativity in all things, which again leads to His glory. But you get to see how creative He is, and you're like, you're clever. You're a clever guy. Like, you're a clever God. And yeah, I lean on Him.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Well, this
it's great.
was a great conversation. I really enjoyed getting to hear your story. So thank you so much for sharing. Also, I just encourage all of you watching to save this show and come back and watch it again because Raciel really did have some great insights for business. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that way you get notifications every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. And a special thanks to you, Raciel, for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day, everyone.
Yep. I'll see y'all in the next episode.